Aloha guys, welcome to another quick edition of Atort Tutorials. Today I am going to talk a little bit about the iPad Pro and Photoshop. Photoshop today just announced a little update. I don't know exactly what they did. They really didn't announce that much. I believe it's some under the hood stuff, and they also added one tool, which is the select with the select subject tool. So essentially what this is a tool that you can use in a single tap and essentially select animals, a person, something like that with, as they say, powered by Adobe Sensei. The select subject tool is trained to identify a variety of objects in an image, people, animals, vehicles, toys, and more while working with Photoshop on the iPad. So let's put it to the test and see. Now, mind you, I'm just going to work with two images that I haven't even played with. I just thought it would possibly be a good little example. So I'm going to open Photoshop. I already airdropped them from my iMac to here. I'm going to go in the Photoshop and hit home, or actually I'm going to say import and open, go to camera roll, and I am going to open this image of a red-crested cardinal in Hawaii. So what I normally do when I'm working on my Mac, the first thing I always do is hit Command-J to duplicate the layer. So I'm going to go over here, these three little dots on the right-hand side, and I'm going to hit Duplicate Layer. So now I got an extra copy of, if you want to see, kind of similar. There's the other layer. So what I'm going to do now that I have that selected, I am going to go into where the Lasso Tool is. So right now I have my Move tool selected. This is Transform. And then below that, if I hit to press, it says Select Subject. Now you see that added to the tool menu. So I'm going to hit that. And I don't know. It didn't do that great of a job. As you see, the marching ants are kind of all right on the tail. It needs some refinement. Let me see. I want to try something. I'm going to undo it. And I'm going to try it again and see if it actually, I'm not sure if it's like one of those filters where that, I think they call it when it's sticky, if it actually does the same exact thing. So I'm going to try one more time. Select subject. And it looks like it did the same thing. So I have a feeling I just got to now refine it. So this little side that's highlighted over here, this is your tool options for the tool you're in. So I could move this all over. I could dock it over here. I'm going to keep it over here for the moment. The two little squares here is to add to your selection. Right below it, that's to subtract from your selection. And I forgot what this is. That is to... well, either way, I think we don't need to worry about that for right now. So what I'm going to do is take my Lasso tool. So you see I got that selected. And I am going to hit Add to Tool. So I'm going to keep the top area selected. I'm going to drag over here. And I am going to add to the selection like that. It's not really awesome. I'm using an Apple Pencil. I'm going to drag over here. Subtract over here. Let me see if I can subtract over here. And then I'm going to add and try to make it a little bit more precise. And what I don't know is how to refine the selection in here as of yet, like a refined edge kind of thing. So let's see. This may not be the best example because it really needs some fine tuning with these guys. Let me see. So I'm just quickly doing this to try to see what I can come up with. A little better. The feet are going to be a little challenging. Nope, undo that. I'm going to try to add a little bit to this. That's making it kind of worse. So as you see, what I need to really do for my own, I mean, mind you, this is kind of new to me. So I'm just starting to work with Photoshop a little bit and seeing what the new things can do. Now working with the Lasso tool even is kind of different for me without having a stylus. I mean, I have a stylus, essentially Apple Pencil, but without having my tablet and the tools and everything that I need to normally work with. So it's kind of let me see. How do I even add to this? I think you just do that, no? There we go. And then subtract to get this guy tighter. Yes. No. Well, I'm going to leave his feet kind of weird right now. So here, subtract, subtract, and then whoop, subtract. And that's the thing, you got to be careful too when you're on a tool and you start scrubbing around because your fingers still act since it's touch screen. So I'm going to add here. So a lot of times if you're scrubbing around, you may want to select the move tool. So essentially, that tool that they put in here, it didn't do that great of a job with this guy at least. So I don't know. So right now we have this guy here. I'm going to invert it. So I'm selecting the bird by this down menu. I'm going to go into these little 3 buttons here and say cut. And now I have the bird, as you see, semi-selected. Now, right now I can go to my eraser tool, make sure this layer is selected, maybe erase some of the little areas to clean up a little bit, just to, maybe I want to make the brush a little smaller and just kind of clean up a little bit. As I said, this isn't perfect. I'm testing this out on the fly as I'm doing this little tutorial, so I'm kind of learning with you. Now, I don't know how to refine the edge on this guy. If you guys know, I don't know if I could feather the selection or something. Whoops. Oops, see what I'm doing? So I got to hit the move tool and then move it around. So that doesn't look too bad. The beak is a little, not perfect. But I can maybe, just pretend like I'm cleaning it up like that. And now what we can do, we'll clean up, let me undo that. Clean up the legs a teeny bit, small kind, as we'd say in Hawaii, meaning just a tad. So there we go. So we got the red-crested cardinal semi-selected. Now what I'm going to do is go right to this little box over here to the left tool side. I can import a file or I can take something from the camera roll. So I'm going to go to camera roll and I'm going to grab a picture of a honu, which is Hawaiian for green sea turtle. And now we got a nice, let me cancel out of that and do it one more time. And I'm going to grab our honu again that's basking on a beach in Hawaii. I got to transform this guy. Let me see. There we go. Hit done. Let me zoom in. Okay, I got to make this guy bigger. Let me fill the frame. Yeah, it's tricky when you're working on the iPad. I mean, I'm not using a keyboard right now, but here, let me bring this guy over here. I'm going to hit done. I believe, no, I still don't have it filled in this frame. Okay, let me do one more time. Zoop. Okay, there we go. Hit done. Now, I have the honu, the turtle, on the top layer. So now what I have to do is grab this. So I'm touching it with my pencil, and I'm dragging it up. Now, Mr. Birdie, Cardinal, I'm going to hit my move tool, and now I can, well, that doesn't look really good, but maybe I'll move him down here or put him up on here. But as you see, it kind of looks horrible, but at the same time, maybe we can do that. But his feet really got mangled. I don't know how to have precision. Let me erase this guy too. There's some parts over here. Whoop. What did I do? Oh, I hit the... See, and that's the thing too. I'm still getting used to the tool. So right now I'm on my eraser tool. I'm going to refine the edge manually, kind of, and clean up some of this gook. His feet do not look good. But, as I said, this is just an example of that tool. And I don't know, maybe you guys know how to work with it a little bit better. But it's a nice start, but I can't refine the edge really well like I could on my computer. So I don't know. I got to see and play with it more. I mean, literally, they just came out with this today, and I figured I'd just do a quick tutorial. And this is pretty much my first time playing with it. So, I guess that's how you actually learn with Photoshop or anything. You got to obviously do and do and do and sit in front of the computer, in this example, an iPad, and play with it. Sit with your iPad on the couch, fuss around with it, get used to it, get familiar with working within it, and just kind of see what you can do. I mean, again, right here, we have pressure for size, pressure for opacity. This is with the eraser tool. So if I go over here, I have these three little buttons. I could feather my lasso. So that's one thing. But what I would want to do is refine the selection somehow. And I don't know if I can actually do that. So again, if I'm going, let me see. Let me zoom back out a little bit. Let me move the bird a teeny bit over here. Let me see. I'll leave him where he was. But again, like, there'd be nice to be able to do something. I think what I can do now to maybe refine it a little bit is, let me see what I would do. Add a clipped adjustment, and I'm going to do levels. So right now, I'm going to do a clipped adjustment layer. Oh, why is it not? Okay, so let me redo this. I should be able to just affect the bird. Let me see. If I go over here and do adjustment layer, it's affecting the whole thing. So what I want to do, I'm on the cardinal, the bird layer, and what I want to do, okay, so that's the bird. Oh, here it is. So here, add clipped adjustment. So I'm going to hit levels. Now I'm just going to, oh fuck, now I'm not adjusting I'm doing the whole thing again. It should be just adjusting the bird, I thought. What did I do? Let me see. Is it this? No, this is Gaussian blur and an invert, which is very lame. It should be right here, I thought. No, that's adjustment layer. This is hiding that layer. That's layer mask. We don't want layer mask. And that's going to clipped adjustment down to, maybe what I can do is duplicate the bird layer, since it's the same exact thing, and now add a clipped adjustment. And now let me see. There. So that's a workaround. I guess that's what you do. I don't know. So I can go into channels, maybe, play with the red a little bit. This is just gonna, let me see, maybe darken them a little bit. But again, I don't know how to refine this to blend the edges, but, considering here, I can flatten this somehow. Let me see what I can do to flatten this. I think you can go here, and I can begin multi-select mode. I think I could select all these, and then I think I can go here and say merge visible. So boom. Let me see one more second. See, it's strange. I don't know why I can't flatten the image either. So if I go to these three dots, flatten layer is not, like, why is that grayed out? Oh, maybe I have to be on the top layer. No? So I can only do merge visible. Like, I don't know why I can't flatten a layer. But regardless, that is a little rundown of working with this new tool. So as I said, this just got updated today, and I don't know if I have the release notes. Let me see. I may have saved it, or did a screen copy. No, I didn't. I thought I did. Let me see in the updates. So here, recently updated Photoshop. So right now, presenting our first of many new features, select subject. Like it's that big of a deal. We've been hard at work getting this Adobe Sensei-powered AI tool for making one-tap accurate selections in your work, making your workflow fast and easy. How about this, Adobe? We can open up a raw file. But regardless, we've also smoothed out a handful of bugs to keep your experience performing to Photoshop's high standards, but we can't use a dodge tool or a burn tool or sharpen an image. Here's a list of updates and bug fixes. Select Subject is now available within Selection Tool menu. Simply long press or double tap on the Selection Tool and tap Select Subject to automatically draw an accurate selection around the main subject or layer. So, to me, that's pretty lame that that's what they're prioritizing. Adobe's prioritizing the stupid selection for morons. I mean, it's nice to have, but realistically, I would rather have a pen tool or smart objects or camera raw dialog box or the ability to open a raw file or unsharp mask or dodge tool or burn tool or curves or, yada, yada, yada. So major improvements to cloud documents have come, like all these lame things. The dark mode setting in the app can now be set to match your iPad iOS setting. Like, who fucking cares? Many common bugs have been quickly squashed and fixed, including UI tweaks, brushing. I mean, it's anyway, really frustrating. Input, updated Gaussian blur and touch shortcuts. Who cares about Gaussian blur? Who uses Gaussian blur? I don't know. I don't. So I'd rather have refine, mask. I would rather have so many things. An info palette. Did I say that correctly? An info palette. I'm getting annoyed. Sharpen tool, anything. Dodge tool, key. There's so many things that I'd rather see. People say they want the patch tool. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that. But regardless, this little update is really lame and still not exciting, Adobe. So try again, please. So I hope that helps. Again, this was just a little quick example of making a selection. And I can show you one other thing here. Let me just see. I'm going to try one other image really quickly. So if I go to create new, I have a picture of my mom, I believe, who's 85 with dementia, and I came back from Hawaii to help care for her. She's a really beautiful person. And this is my mom in Hawaii with me in front of some hibiscus. But what I would do again, I'm just going to do a quick, I'm not going to take this all the way through, but I would duplicate the layer just because that's a good rule of thumb. I would go into this tool, select subject, I just tap it, and now it made this rough selection. So essentially, that's what it's doing right off the bat with this tool. So I don't know. I mean, if they're saying it's so amazing, like you would think it would be able to detect this pink-green border, but it didn't. So I still have to, let me undo it and try one more time. So I'm going to go here, hold, select subject, and it's doing the exact same thing. So now what I would have to do is go to Lasso Tool, and I would have to, here, let me see. Or I think I can go to Quick Select. Oh, and I would want to, that's deleting. I'd want to subtract. And you see I still kind of have to refine the edge, which I don't think I really should do, especially since it's this their only update, Adobe. This thing should be pretty rock star, and it's kind of average as far as what I'm seeing. But something like that, I guess it's not horrible. Let me go over here and blip over here. Wait, got to zoom back in. And I'm just kind of cleaning this up. So as you see, that's fine. It does an all right job to a certain extent. Definitely needs refining. So I'm going to go and invert the mask below, and then I'm going to cut it. And now I have my mom on a separate layer. So she's got like flower hair. But regardless, I guess I can take, the eraser tool. Whoop, I got to get on her layer. I got to make the brush bigger. And then I can just maybe give her a little bouffant haircut a little bit and get some of that out of there. Whoop, let me not get her sweater. But as you see, I guess considering that's not that bad. Now if I wanted to, I can go and, I don't really have a background for this, but I'll just try to bring something in. Like I can bring maybe this in. And then hit done, and then bring her to the top. And you can see, like, obviously this isn't really anything, but it did an all right job, all things said and done. So I hope that helps. It's just a little, glimpse of what Adobe launched today, which is this one tool. And the select subject, I guess it's kind of cool, but I would have much rather have seen a lot of other things before this. Again, curves, huge for me personally. Unsharp mask is like massive. I mean, smart objects, and that's down the line. I get it. But camera raw, to be able to open a raw file, crucial. Yeah, you can go in Lightroom or Affinity Photo, but you shouldn't have to. So, and again, if you guys enjoy this at all, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'll be leaving for Hawaii soon for about a month, and I'll be doing some reviews and some stuff out there with some companies that do underwater stuff. So stay tuned. Aloha.